This right here, this is how you want to spend a summer vacation, looking at this kind of scene, taking in the weather, at the beach, relaxing. So when summer injuries or a cold on vacation pops up, it can really throw a wrench into your summer plans. So we're addressing all that today and more with Hannah Mills, nurse practitioner with Cone Health Virtual Care, to help you have a healthy summer. All right, first, let's just start off. Let's review some common summer ailments. Like this one is one of my favorites because it's in my backyard right now, poison ivy.
Yeah, poison ivy, very common. We get it a whole lot. So you want best to avoid the plants. So figuring out what they look like to avoid them is going to be best. You already know it's in your backyard, so you don't want to go digging around there without having some protection on. Say you stumbled across it, you didn't realize it, immediately remove that clothing, go throw it in a hot wash, and wash yourself off with the warmest water that you can tolerate to prevent those rashes and blistering from happening. If the blisters happen, don't pop them, let them be. You can use calamine lotion or Benadryl or hydrocortisone cream as needed in any of the spots that do cause you to have a rash or discomfort and itching.
Okay, is there a point where the poison ivy gets so bad that you actually need to see a doctor?
Oh, yes. Unfortunately, some people do have very significant allergies to this. If it gets in your mouth, your eyes, if it lasts for longer than 2 to 3 weeks with like the over-the-counter care, or if you scratched it, because we all do, and it gets infected, you will need to be seen in person to help get treatment for it to get it under control. But the good news is that we do offer virtual care for this. You have an e-visit questionnaire that you can do, and you have a video visit that you can do if you go to Cone Health and look up their virtual visits.
Right, and it's helpful with the virtual visit because they can see like what that is on your arm and all that other kind of stuff. All right, what about a bee sting? If you or your child is stung by a bee or a wasp or a yellow jacket, I mean, back in the day, they used to say you should remove the stinger. Do you still do that?
No, you actually don't. You scrape it. So if you were to get stung on your arm, you want to just scrape it, kind of make it like it's a sandwich, and just scrape it off and leave the stinger in there, because you can squeeze out more venom if you were to remove it, which would cause more of an issue. And it will naturally migrate out with your skin as it sloughs off. So you can leave it in there, believe it or not, just scrape it off so that you're not hitting it, kind of like a splinter. And you're going to put a cold compress on it for 10 to 20 minutes, hold it on there off and on as needed. You can take Tylenol or ibuprofen, and you can also use hydrocortisone cream or Benadryl if you get that itching, because some people do get the itching with it. Mostly you just want to keep it clean and dry so that it won't get infected. That's your big goal there.
Okay, and so most of us, that is our reaction when we get stung by a bee, but how do we know if someone's actually having an allergic reaction?
Your number one is going to be breathing. When your breathing starts getting wheezy, you feel chest tightness, you're heaving, you're having shortness of breath, you can't feel like you're getting air in, you're suffocating, call 911. If the person has an EpiPen, please go ahead and initiate that use, but call 911 as soon as possible to get them the help that they need.
All right, so don't be putting them in the car and driving them somewhere. Call and let them come to you and be able to assess it that way. Okay, let's talk about sunburn, because this is something that we all get at least one time during the summer season. I know I do like aloe and stuff like that, but what should we really be doing for sunburns?
You should really be wearing your hats.
Yes.
You should be wearing your sunglasses, and you should be applying sunscreen pretty frequently and often. So your sunscreen is about an ounce per over your body. Apply it all the time when you're about to go out, 15 minutes, and reapply every 80 minutes, depending on if you're sweating and hot or in the water. But you need to make sure that you're applying it frequently to your face, your ears, your shoulder, your hands, the back of your neck. Those areas get exposed constantly all the time. And those are the areas that we see a lot of trouble with as people get older and they get the cancer spots. So make sure that you're applying it. And you said, what can you do if you get a sunburn? So if you get a sunburn, you mentioned, get that classic gel out, slather it on, and it'll be nice and cool. A cool bath, Tylenol, ibuprofen is going to help you. Avoid scrubbing or putting any perfume lotions on. Sometimes we want to do that, but we don't need to do that right now. And you need to hydrate, because you kind of baked yourself. You put yourself in a toaster and you dried yourself out. So drink a lot of water to help that skin feel a little bit better. Don't pop any of the blisters, just like with any blisters with the poison ivy. Leave them alone. They'll open on their own as the skin heals. If it does pop, just throw a little triple antibiotic ointment on there and it should be good to go.
Okay, and is there a point when we too need to have a virtual visit with a doctor because we have a sunburn that's kind of gotten out of control?
Yes. So the blisters, say the blisters bubbled up really bad, you're covered in them. Please go be seen. If you develop blisters on your face, if you develop eye pain, or if you scratched it and again you got infected, you got pus, redness, swelling, discomfort, you need to go ahead and get out of there and go be seen.
Okay. All right, let's talk about, a lot of us hiked this past weekend, had a great time outside because it was beautiful weather. The kids are just playing and just running around in the parks and that kind of thing. What happens if someone like falls, twists an ankle or more? What types of injuries mean a trip to the urgent care versus emergency room versus virtual care?
All right, so that's very big, broad spectrum right there. If you had a simple fall or you twisted your ankle, you went down to the ground and you could stand back immediately, stand back up, put weight on it, you had limited bruising and swelling, and you're walking around, we could probably see you virtually and you can treat yourself at home. Apply some ice for 20 minutes on and off, Tylenol, ibuprofen, whichever one's safe for you to take. Stay off of it so that you can kind of rest it. Some people like to wrap their legs in an ACE bandage to kind of give it more support. That's okay too, or wear a brace. But if you don't apply, any of those apply to your particular injury, you fell and you heard a snap, crackle, or a pop. If that rule of thumb, if you see a bone, you leave home, you go to the emergency room and you get checked out. Make sure you're getting an x-ray for anything that might be broken or suspected of broken, and they'll help you along the way with ACE bandages, all the way up to crutches, get you an ortho appointment. So we can try to see you, and we'll direct you. If you're just not sure, we'll direct you where to go if you need to.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and I just can't get snap, crackle, or pop out of my mind. I'm never going to look at Rice Krispies the same way again, for sure. All right, we're going to continue talking about summer ailments when we come back.